This video is brought to you by morethanArealestateagent.com, your #1 source for real estate merch on the internet. Use code YouTube for 10% off your first order. Before I made the decision to join Real, I didn't know very much about it, y'all. I'll be honest with you. But I saw this gentleman's smiling bearded face, and he resonated with me because I have a smiling bearded face. But in addition to that, Mr. Lawson, I mean, when I tell you all, he gives the greatest deep dives on why Real Broker can work for a specific type of agent. And it really, truly helped me make the decision, the right decision, when I ultimately joined Real Broker, which is why he is actually one of my sponsors. And he is someone who is a wealth of knowledge, all things internet, lead generating. Mr. Malcolm Lawson ranks higher than Real Brokerage's own YouTube channel on YouTube and on Google. So that tells me that he knows a thing or two as it relates to the algorithm. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about putting the power of Google, Facebook, Instagram, the whole internet as a whole to the generation of leads for your business, regardless of if you are in Timbuktu, Atlanta, Georgia, or wherever you are in the United States of America. So Mr. Malcolm Lawson, thank you so much for being on this call, good sir. I'm gonna let you take it away.
Yeah, man, dude, I definitely appreciate being here. I love talking about online marketing, so I've been doing YouTube and blogging for over a decade now. It's kind of crazy to say. My biggest YouTube channel is up to 200,000 subscribers, and I got kind of bored with that one and walked away. And right now, I was one of the first people to really focus on using YouTube and blogging for lead generation into my real estate business, and I'm still focused on the blogging aspect of that. And then right now, I'm really focused on using YouTube for agent attraction. I kind of help growing the company, and it just gives me another stream of income. And once again, I'm using YouTube and blogging for that. So I'm pretty familiar with the algorithms, kind of how to optimize your content for the algorithms and kind of integrate blogging and then YouTube into your business. Where would you like me to start? Do you want to give you like a complete overview or rundown?
Complete overview will be just fine. I know you got to jump off in a little bit, so we can go soup to nuts as far as the overview is concerned.
All right, so I'll start off with how I like to use blogging for lead generation in my own real estate business. I think that's something that a lot of you guys would be very interested in. And so I've been doing that for years. And what I find most effective is writing local guides to moving to different cities. And so I have kind of a series that I do on my channel. Is just called A Local's Guide to Living in, and then whatever that city name is. And this is kind of what one of my articles looks like. Cost of living. I've got images. I've got, well, I'll go through the breakdown of it. So I have an intro paragraph, cost of living, things to do in the city. And then I have links to the actual things, the top parks in that city, and then links to those parks websites, top restaurants in that city, links to those restaurants. This is a kind of a newer section that I added to like how far the city is away from major, other major cities and destinations. And then top schools. And I link to the schools that are in that city, top employers, top neighborhoods in that city. I have a frequently asked questions section here. And if there's any homes for sale, then it shows up homes for sale here. And so I write these pretty straightforward articles about pretty much every city in that I cover. And a lot of these rank #1, or at least in the top 3 when you type in moving to blank city or living in blank city, which is what a lot of folks type in. And so I'd say like, look at it as if somebody's moving to your area, like what information would they want to know? And that's just try to provide as much information to them around that as you can. And so there's a lot of other articles that could work like this as well. So if you did, let's say, pros and cons of living in blank city, the true cost of living in blank city, 10 things to know before moving to blank city. All of these types of articles would do very well in the algorithm. Now, I'm also a big advocate of YouTube. And I think that this combination of YouTube videos and the articles is what's really led to my success. Because when it comes to, if you have just an article, that's not enough to generate leads. You need to build a relationship with the person watching it. And you do that through video. And so what I typically do is I make an article first, and I research the area, I fact check everything, I make the article, And then I use that as an outline to make a YouTube video. And by doing this, like my YouTube videos are much more thorough. They're fully, fact checked. I have an outline for it. And then I embed the YouTube video in that article. And that's going to actually help the article perform better as well. And what I love about this is, let's say I have somebody reaching out to me from a referral from Marvin, and there's like, yeah, we just need to move to Anne Arundel County somewhere. We don't really know the area that well. I'd be like, great, here's my article and video about this city, this city, this city, and this city. And I can send them 5, 6 cities that I recommend with my article, with my YouTube video embedded in it. And it instantly gives me credibility and authority. One of the things I love about content creation is, like, even if you're a brand new agent, you can get credibility through content creation. So you could have 0 sales. You could have never sold a home in your life. But if you're the guy that has a YouTube video for every single city in that county, like, that gives you credibility, that gives you authority. And so I do recommend creating YouTube videos and articles for everybody, even if you don't want to do it indefinitely. Just have one for each of the major areas that you cover, just for that credibility, just to use as a tool to increase your lead conversion as well.
Well, Malcolm, I had a question in regards
Yeah.
to that. What if I'm not a writer, man? What if I'm just like, I can do the video, but the writing is not so much. Can I just go on ChatGPT and just create something like this? Or, what are your thoughts on leveraging ChatGPT for stuff like this to kind of pump out more frequent content?
Great question. And yes, it is amazing what you can do with ChatGPT these days. So I started off doing this strategy in 2019. I was writing all my own articles. It would take me a long time to write these and research them and fact check them. And then I started hiring a writer, and she used to charge me $125 an article to do it. Now what I do is I actually use ChatGPT to create the actual article, and then I use a virtual assistant in the Philippines to post the article on my webpage, add links, and then add images to the articles. And so let me show you what that could look like. There's a couple of ways you could do this. There's a kind of a complicated way. In ChatGPT, you can create custom GPTs. Essentially, you can give it commands and then save it so that you can come back later on. And if I can kind of open this up and let me take a look, I should be able to edit this GPT. So this is one of my custom ones. Here we go, configure. So this is all a command that I tested and I wrote out, and I kind of gave it an outline of how I want this article. So top parks in blank Maryland, top restaurants in blank Maryland. And then I told it where to actually find that information. So go to TripAdvisor to find that information. What are the top parks? And I was able to create this whole outline of exactly how I want the article, and then I save it. And so now I can come in here, literally just type in a city name, and it pumps out one of these articles for me. So super cool. And this is kind of a more complicated way to do it. But if you literally just come back and start a new chat here, you could type in, I am a real estate agent trying to create a guide to living in my city. Write me an article about the pros and cons of living in Annapolis, Maryland. You can make it as simple as that, and it'll think for a little bit, and then it'll literally write you an article about the pros and cons of living in Annapolis, Maryland. So it's pretty amazing what you can do with this. Now, I recommend, here's the thing, ChatGPT, it does hallucinate sometimes. It does get things wrong. And so really what you need to do is come back in here and kind of fact check this. You need to actually read it. Like so many people, they just want to copy and paste this and just be done. You got to put a little bit more work into it. You have to actually read through the article. Sometimes the formatting is weird. Sometimes it uses weird words, but this is doing 90% of the work for you. And something like this, pros and cons, like this is a fantastic video to make. And look, you could read through this and then, okay, now I've got an outline for a YouTube video. Then you just sit down and record it. All right, so pros and cons of rich history and culture. Scenic waterfront outdoor activities, proximity to major cities, small town charm, urban amenities, strong educational institutions. Those are all actually really good pros. Cons, high cost of living, heavy traffic, tourist crowds, limited public transportation, vulnerability to flooding. That's actually all super accurate. And so you could take this and then go and use that as an outline to make a YouTube video, but you can also just publish this as an article. Now, a couple ways to optimize your articles for the YouTube algorithm. One of the ways is that you want to have images in your article. So having images will actually increase the performance of your article. And so what I'd recommend is having 3, 4, 5 images throughout your article. Maybe for every pro, have an image. Every con, have an image in there. And so this is something ChatGPT can't do. You need to actually go through and actually add this yourself. I also recommend having external links in your articles. So if you're talking about pros and cons, have links to something. I'm not sharing the right tab. So here's the images I was trying to show you. So I have these images in my articles, and you want to have them to help with the SEO of it. And then have external links. So if you're talking about restaurants or talking about schools, link to those schools, link to TripAdvisor, link to, I think these go to niche.com schools. And having those external links and images will help the performance better. Having a video will also help the article perform better. And the reason for this is that the algorithms, what they're really trying to do is optimize for the best user experience possible.
Hey, if you've made it this far in the video and you are a real estate professional, consider partnering with me here at Real Brokerage. You pay nothing per month, get a fantastic split, and you have the opportunity to build a business through revenue share and stock purchases. Book a call at the link below in today's video, and I'm happy to have a conversation on why I was able to grow my business exponentially by moving my practice to Real Brokerage. All right, back to the video.
That's what they want. That's what the YouTube algorithm wants. That's what the Google algorithm wants. What is the best user experience when it comes to creating an article? And so how do you create a better user experience? You have a lot of value. You have images. We're just humans. We like images. It makes things easier. And you're providing like links and resources is a better tool. And if you have a video, people will watch that video sometimes instead of reading the article. So that's kind of my formula. Add the video, add the links, add the images, use the article as an outline to then go and make the YouTube video. And I do this for lead generation. I also do this in my real estate business. I also do this for agent attraction as well. So at Real, we have an additional stream of income where if we attract agents to the company, we can receive passive income for having those agents at the company. And so what I do is I make these really in-depth articles comparing brokerages or about Real Broker, and I follow the exact same formula. So I have a video at the very top of the article. I have as much value as I can. I have links to my sources of where I'm getting this information. I have custom images and graphics that I make. And also, like, the longer you can make the article, the better, right? If you can make it like a 2,000 word article is probably going to perform better than a 500 word article. There may be some limits to that, but try to get around 1,000 words, between 1,000 and 2,000 word articles. But this one right here, if you guys are familiar with EXP and LPT Realty, if you type in Google Real versus EXP, this article ranks. If you type in EXP versus LPT, this article ranks, and I think #1, and a bunch of other search results around these two brokerages. And it's just because I provide so much value to them that the algorithm can see that. And what the algorithm really tracks is how long they're on the article for, right? That's one of the most important metrics. If they go to the page and they immediately back out, they're gonna be like, okay, that's a terrible experience. Like, obviously we're not gonna rank this. But if they go to the page and they're on that page for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, that's a fantastic sign to Google. If they then click on other links to other pages on your website, that's a fantastic sign to Google as well. And so one of the best ways to keep somebody on an article longer is through video. If they go to your article, you have a 10-minute video, they watch it, that's a fantastic sign. And a lot of these cities, I have my article ranks on the first page of Google and my YouTube video ranks on the first page of Google as well. Michelle, we got a question?
Yeah.
Yes, and thank you for such great information. I have written a blog, but it was many years ago, and I kind of just got away from it. But I really appreciate this information because it's very helpful, and I do like to write, and I'm comfortable with writing. So this might be right in my wheelhouse, and I've gotten a little more comfortable with the videos, etc. So the marriage of the two would be great. But the question that I have, because I can't even think of, how do you even get started with blogging? Like, where do you go? So I'm really, really telling on myself how long it's been since I've done it.
So you really need your own website. That's the best place to blog, is be on your own website. There are platforms like medium.com, which is a blogging platform, and I used to use that. And I still have some articles up there. But if your goal is lead generation, like having it on your own website where they can then go do a home search, or they can go look at your contact form, or they can go and browse different pages, and you can also retarget people with Facebook ads who visit your website. So do you have a website right now?
I do. I haven't moved over to Real yet, even though my plan is to do so this month. But so let me kind of go back. So with the website that I have or will have, there should be a place there for me to put that data.
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
If you came over and you built a website with Lofty, which is the website builder that we use here at Real, you can do blogging in Lofty, and you can do that. And I think that would rank really well. And I would say create a guide to living in these cities for every city that you cover, right? Maybe your 10 primary cities that you cover, just to get started.
Okay.
And I want to add to that here. I'll share my screen, Michelle, so you can see how I have it. I'm setting up my blog today. Through Lofty first is a great way to start. That way, you can kind of branch out from there. So if y'all see my screen here now, this is Lofty, and the section where it says website, you would just click on that, and then here's my current IDX website, livingingac.com. You click on that, and as Malcolm mentioned, there's a way that you can create blogs here. There it is, as one of the quick actions. So what you could do is I go the Lofty route first, start building out your blog, as Malcolm mentioned, because that's already baked into your IDX, and folks can hop right on to home searches and move about through your CRM, and you'll know that they're on your website, because the moment they start reading a blog that you can send out to your database, again, everything you can do through Lofty and be good to go. But in addition to that, personally speaking, I think it'd be a good idea to also have an additional, maybe more of a hyper niche, hyper local blog that you create. And as he mentioned, you can go the Squarespace route. You can go, there's a number of places that you can start a free blog. I use Google's hosting service to do my blog. And so I've created this hyper niche to go along with my Lofty and my IDX website. I have a hyper niche website called movetogwinnett.com that I'm building out now. And so I'm going to use this to input information from my IDX, homes, but more than homes, events happening in the city. I want this website to be the go-to place that people that are interested in what's going on in Gwinnett County, that they can find information in regards to it here in Atlanta. I also purchased the domain Move to Fulton, Move to Cobb, all of the mega counties in my city. I bought those domains. And so again, just to be hyper local, I'm going to duplicate a website like this, but make it specific to the different major counties in the Atlanta area. So that'd be something that you may want to, start doing. But I would say start with Lofty, because they already have the baked in system, and you can literally just build out from there.
Yeah, I love it. I think Lofty could totally work. You want me to dive into YouTube a little bit and kind of some best practices with YouTube?
Absolutely. Go ahead, man.
All right. So yeah, YouTube, I'm also really passionate about YouTube, and I've been doing that just as long as blogging, a good decade or so now. Right now, I'm really only focused on my agent attraction website because I have so many articles. Their articles are generating me leads, and I really refer those out to other agents in my area. And so this is another stream of income, is creating content about Real Broker, and then people find me and you can make a revenue share off of that. And so when it comes to YouTube, one of the things that makes YouTube unique compared to other platforms is that the first challenge is actually getting people to click on your video in the first place. And you don't really have that challenge with other platforms, right? And other platforms, the video just plays automatically in their feed. It's just an algorithm that shows them the next video. And so the first challenge on YouTube is getting them to click. And so getting somebody to click really comes down to three things. One is going to be the topic of the video. So if you're making a video, what is an escrow account? Nobody's going to click on that. That's a very boring video, right? But if you make a video, 10 things to know before moving to Georgia, like that's like, whoa, what do you mean? What do I need to know before moving to Georgia? Pros and cons of living in Atlanta, Georgia. My 5 biggest regrets about moving to Georgia, right? These kinds of things, like, whoa, what do you mean? Like it intrigues you. It makes you want to click on that video. And that's actually a really big part of YouTube. If you guys are familiar with Mr. Beast, he sits around with his friends all day long just trying to think up of creative ideas for videos. Like what would really go viral? What type of idea? So that's going to be the first one, is that the idea of the video has to be clickable. The second one is going to come down to the thumbnail image. So I see a thumbnail image as really kind of a stop sign. Somebody's scrolling, somebody's browsing, and it has to get their attention and stop them in their tracks and be like, whoa, what is this? And after you get their attention with the thumbnail, then the next thing is that they read the title of the video. And the title is also going to be really important. And you want to make your title a headline and not a label. So don't label your video how to buy a house. That's a boring label that doesn't really incentivize anybody to click on that video. Instead, give it a headline. 10 biggest mistakes when buying your first home, or how I saved my clients $10,000 buying their rental property, right? These are headlines. These kind of sensationalize it. My 5 biggest regrets about buying my Atlanta, Georgia home, right? Unfortunately, negative things kind of do well on YouTube. Is this kind of a, just how it goes?
I think one thing I was going to say is the versus. You could talk about one county versus the other. So DeKalb, if you're in Atlanta, I'm only using Atlanta. I know everybody's not here in Atlanta, but DeKalb versus Fulton County. Don't make this mistake. Like if I titled it like that, someone interested in moving to either of those counties is going to watch my video to see, oh, well, what's Marvin, what's his concern with one county versus the other, so I don't make that mistake. But ultimately, like Malcolm said, you can be a brand new agent, but because you provided helpful information that you could go into ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, give me 10 key differences between this county and this county in XYZ state. And it will spit out 10 differences between the two. And then you can even ask it to put it in a script format. And then all you're doing is just repeating the information, of course, verifying it, like Malcolm said, but repeating the information in front of the camera, putting it on YouTube. And then now you're the thought leader in that subject.
Yeah, ChatGPT, if you use it as a tool in your YouTube journey, it can help out tremendously. And like he said, like it can create a pretty much an outline for you, but you could also say something like, I am a Maryland real estate agent and want to create YouTube videos to generate me leads. Give me 10 clickable and sensational ideas for YouTube videos that would appeal to someone moving to my area, and it will give you ideas for these videos. So in that kind of ideation phase, this can be a really effective tool as well. 10 things you must know before moving to Annapolis, Maryland. The truth about living in Annapolis. Pros and cons you need to hear. Why Annapolis is the best kept secret of the East Coast. 5 hidden neighborhoods in Annapolis you've never heard of. Cost of living in Annapolis versus Baltimore. Where should you move? A day in the life of an Annapolis local. What's really like to live here. Top 5 schools in Annapolis. 5 mistakes everyone makes when buying a home in Annapolis. That's kind of a cool one there. Annapolis versus Edgewater. Which waterfront community is right for you?
Oh, that's a good versus video right there.
Yeah, that's another versus right there. What no one tells you about Annapolis real estate in 2024. So now you could take one of these. Let's do the versus one. take this, copy and paste it, and say like, great, now write me an outline for this YouTube video. And it'll do that for you. This used to take so much time to do this, to come up with ideas and create and research it and script it. The fact that you can use this as a tool to help you in this process is amazing. Now, I don't really like this format. Like it's kind of giving you a script. Some people have it write scripts. I'm not a big fan of that. And so that's kind of why I prefer write me an article based on that video idea. And I personally like it to write paragraphs, and then I can read that paragraph, and then I can kind of summarize it in my own words into the camera. So for the ideation phase, coming up with ideas, it can definitely help you out with that. For scripting out the videos and creating an outline, which is amazing, it can help you out with that. Even coming up with titles for your YouTube video. So if you're kind of stuck, like I don't really know what the title is, put it in YouTube or in ChatGPT, ask it, hey, give me 10 variations of this title that are very clickable and stationable. So that's gonna be the first challenge, is getting people to click on your videos, right? And it comes down to the idea of the video, the thumbnail, and then the title. The next thing is you have to get people to watch your video for a long time. YouTube's algorithm can be summarized in one sentence. YouTube wants people to click on videos and watch them. That's it. Those are the two biggest metrics. What percentage of people click on a video? How long do they watch that video for? That's all you really need to focus on. And so how do you get somebody to watch a video for longer? Well, there's a couple of things you can do. One is start the video off with a hook. And a hook is kind of you're sensationalizing the value that they're going to get out of the rest of the video, like why they should watch the rest of the video. So if you could start off a video like, hey, I'm Malcolm Lawson. Today I'm going to give you a guide to moving to Annapolis, Maryland. Kind of boring, kind of straightforward. Another way you could start off is, when I moved to Annapolis, Maryland 10 years ago, I made one of the biggest mistakes in my life when choosing the neighborhood to move to. Today, I want to go break down what this mistake was to help you avoid making it when buying your first home here in Annapolis, Maryland. Something like that, right? That kind of sensationalizes the video and like why they should watch it. And so for me, I don't script out my videos. I usually write outlines. And if it's about like my area, that's all I need. I just need like a bullet point, and then I can talk about that topic. The only thing I script out is the hook. So that's one version of the hook. Maybe I'll try a few different ones and I'll wordsmith a little bit, come up with a really catchy hook, because that absolutely will help the video perform better. The next thing is, I don't want you talking about yourself too much in the video. This is one of the most common mistakes, is that people start the video off and they'll say, hey, I'm Malcolm Lawson. I've been, in the real estate agents for 8 years, and I've helped 100 clients, and I have a 4.7 star review on Zillow. And if you want to buy, sell, invest, retire, rent, I can help you out. Just go to my website, do this, do that. I see people, it's like a minute, 2 minutes. This is how they start their videos. And of course, somebody clicks on that, they're backing out immediately. They're not watching 2 minutes worth of a sales pitch to get to the content. And so to optimize your video, start off with a hook, get to the content as soon as possible, save the call to action until the end. Now, what you could do, what I do sometimes, actually most of my videos, is I will have my contact information in as a lower third graphic. So I start off the video and it'll say like Malcolm Lawson, livinginmaryland.com, Maryland real estate agent. And it's just a little graphic, so it doesn't really interrupt the flow. But get to the content as soon as you can in the video, and this absolutely will help your videos perform better. Then when you're actually creating the videos, you want to keep them pretty fast paced. You want to have graphics, maybe animation, maybe text. You want to have video of the actual city. That helps out tremendously. And we call that B-roll. And all you really need is your phone. And I'll make videos sometimes. I literally just drive around with my phone out the window, or I'll do like a side-to-side pan of something in a city, or an up and down pan. Or sometimes I'll just hold the camera steady and just get a stable shot like this. If there's movement in the city, like a street or water, just hold it like that. And that's it, man. Those are my 4 shots: a side-to-side pan, an up and down pan, holding it if there's movement in the shot, or holding it out the window of my car while I'm driving through a neighborhood. That's all you need. And you edit that into a we call the A roll, which is the talking head portion, just you talking into the camera like this. You edit in the B roll, you start the video off of the hook, and then at the end, you can have a call to action. Now, the call to action at the end gets a little tricky. To best optimize for the YouTube algorithm, the best thing that you can do is get them to watch another one of your videos. So what I usually do is I sit to the side of my camera, my frame like this, and be like, hey, now that you've checked out Annapolis versus Edgewater, check out this video right here where I go over the 5 things that you should know before buying a waterfront community in Anne Arundel County. And so I will have one video, and YouTube, you can have a clickable card here. I have one video that I know ahead of time that I'm going to direct them to, and I record myself saying, hey, click right here, and I look at it, and I want them to click on this and watch the next video. So that's going to be one of my call to actions. That's the very last one. Before that, I usually do another call to action, something along the lines of, hey, and by the way, I'm a Maryland real estate agent. And if you guys are interested in moving to Annapolis, Maryland, I'd be more than happy to help you in that process and have a conversation with you. I have a link down in the description below where you can schedule a one-on-one consultation with me, talk to you more about Annapolis, Maryland, answer all your questions about this area. So that's kind of a newer call to action, is that I've been using a program called Calendly, where people can just schedule a video call with me. So anybody can just hop on a video call, schedule it, and we can have a buyer's consultation with them. And I love that call to action. You can also just provide your contact information. Just provide your phone number, your email, so they can reach out to you directly. Or you can say, hey, all my contact information is in the description below. The challenge with that is somebody's watching on TV, they can't really access that. So I'd say, tell them what your phone number is, have it displayed, and then move on to the other call to action, which is, hey, click right here to watch the next video. That's it.
And I think and I think it's really, really important, as Malcolm is explaining, he is simply doing one action, but taking that one action and then deploying it several different ways. So he's working smarter, not harder. The way that I'm able to pump out a lot of content is because I work smarter, not harder. I dedicate a specific time of the day on a specific day of the week, and then I batch record as much as I possibly can, and then I take that clip and then I put it, as Malcolm mentioned, you can feed it to ChatGPT. If you put a video together on YouTube, you can copy the transcript and then ask ChatGPT to turn that transcript into a blog. So now I got the blog. In the comments of this, in the chat section of our video here, I put the place that I find royalty-free images, which is unsplash.com. You can use hundreds of thousands of images that you can use absolutely free on any platform. So now we've got the images to put in between the blog that I created from the transcript of me talking. Now, next, if I wanted to, I could reverse engineer it and do the blog first. And now that blog gives me the outline to create the video on, and maybe I get that blog outline from ChatGPT. So all he and I and many other content creators that are doing this at a high level are saying is that you don't need money to do it. You don't need a lot of money to do it. Start in Lofty. If you're not super tech savvy, you don't know, like I use WordPress, which is a really good blogging platform, but you have to find where to host it. And it's a lot if you're not super tech savvy. So I would say get the Lofty CRM, use the blogging platform there, and then you can create everything that Malcolm has mentioned and then put it on your Lofty, because ultimately you want to drive people back to your CRM anyway, because how will you know people are reading and watching your content? You're going to know it because you're going to see this individual's activity on your Lofty website. So even the hyper local websites that I just mentioned, there's a link that drives the person back to my CRM, because ultimately if they're not in my CRM, I have no way of following up on them and making sure that I'm able to serve them if they're looking to buy a house, if they're looking to sell, or if they just want to know what to do in the area because they know someone that's looking to buy a house in the area or relocate. That's how you can do it. And it's an absolutely low cost way to do it. Your only expense would be your data on your phone, if you're paying for that, and the $40 a month that you're paying for Lofty. That's it. And you can have an up and running website tomorrow. Michelle had a question, and Malcolm's got to go in about 5 minutes, y'all. So we're going to leave this completely open for question and answer. Go ahead, Michelle.
Do you put the blog on social media sites like Facebook or Instagram?
I really don't, not really. It just doesn't get much traction on there. Pretty much all the platforms, they don't want to send people off the platforms. So if you have any links, YouTube or any other website, Facebook doesn't really promote that listing or that post very much. So I think like for me, the major traffic sources is just going to be from Google. And then if you have YouTube videos, you can have, hey, check out the full article I wrote and the link from YouTube. And then if you have an email list, links to articles work pretty well on an email list as well.
And I was going to say before Monique, quickly, you can create the same video that you would have put on YouTube and just natively post it on Facebook. Now you keep people on the platform and you're still giving them a call to action to click the link in your Facebook video. But again, you're still doing the same video. You're just posting it in 2 different platforms with a call to action to send people to your blog. Go ahead, Monique.
Do you think blogs are useful on the Google business page?
Yeah, I probably, I don't really do much of Google business page. I'm familiar with it, but I haven't done too much with it. But I know that it does link to your website. And if your website has more credibility about your area, I could only see that helping Google business page for when people are looking for a real estate agent in your area. I feel like that would just give you more credibility, if anything. So I would definitely link to your article or link to your website from that. I'm not sure if you can link to specific articles or not. Maybe you can.
Okay.
You can. It's called an update, Monique. So if you are on your, I'm going to share my screen here quickly because I know again Malcolm got to go. I want to be respectful to his time. So if you Google my name, for example, here on the page here, to your point, you can add an update, and that update button here would be your quasi blog. So you can take the same blog and then maybe post a snippet of it here in the update section, and then put a link for people to read the full article, which sends them back to your
website.
them back to your CRM and your blog. But yes, you can do it. You can put photos in here. You can even put video here in Google My Business, but I believe you cannot put more than 30 seconds to a minute. So I only post my hyper local content reels, from YouTube. That's the only thing that I may, I'm sorry, on social media. I post that here on Google My Business, but Google limits it to about 30 seconds on this platform.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other questions?
Quick question. I'm a complete novice to YouTube. I'm great with, well, I'm not great. I feel great, more confident doing videos on Facebook and Instagram. How do I even begin? I know you guys know so much. It's hard to dumb it down or go back to the beginning. But step one, I showed you, Marvin, I overdid it with my banner with my little YouTube channel with everything Erica, over 50, the realtor, real life, all this. And you told me to summarize it and have sub pages, and I was like, oh, okay. You know how long it took to do the first one? But anyway, so how do I separate myself as a realtor and create that first video and thumbnail and banners and stuff? I'm writing.
Yeah, I can definitely touch on that. And so it's great you're already doing video on Facebook. And I tell people, if you're new to video, Facebook is where you should start because it's all your friends and family, right? You don't have to be as much anxiety with your friends and family as complete strangers. And so the first thing that you need is some sort of video editing software for you to edit video. So YouTube is the hardest social media platform, in my opinion, right? Because you could spend 5, 10, 20 hours creating a single video for YouTube versus Instagram. You pull out your phone, you just kind of quickly record something. YouTube, you need a little bit more video editing. And so there's a couple free programs out there. There's paid programs. CapCut is a really interesting one that's on desktop and on mobile now. And I believe that's free on desktop. And so that's
what I use.
Yeah, and it's pretty powerful, surprisingly.
And CAPCUT, CapCut, or
yeah, you said it right.
I use the mobile app to edit my Instagram reels quite often. And so that'd be the first place, is like you need to have some kind of video editing thing like that. And for you, I would get some lights for your home studio. So like I've got these LED panels here. And and this is what I use for my lights, and it's kind of on this arm. And having good lighting is going to be really important for YouTube.
This isn't the same thing, right? This is
Close
not.
enough. Perfect. Yeah. So you get a ring
Okay.
light. That looks good.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And so then you want to film yourself horizontally for YouTube. Stick this
Okay.
in the middle of the ring light, film it, and do a talking head portion where you're talking about, you know, hey, today I'm gonna give you a locals guide, or today's we're talking about the pros and cons of moving to Atlanta, Georgia, and kind of do that full bit. That'd be maybe a 20-minute long thing, and
Okay.
then put that into CapCut, and then go to the actual community and just with your phone, just get some footage of that. And while you're talking, overlap that footage. We call that B-roll over top of your talking head portion. And that'll be your YouTube video. You can upload that as unlisted, so it's not published yet, and then you can adjust the title and the description. And for your thumbnail image, one, you could just go to Fiverr.com. Literally for $5, you can pay someone to create a thumbnail image for you. That may be the easiest one. I've experimented with it. I've gotten decent thumbnails for $5, surprisingly. The other option is Canva.com. It's a free editing.
I know Canva.
Yeah. So you can create thumbnails in there. They actually have templates that you can use. So it's the right size, right formatting, and everything. And then all this stuff, you know, what I would tell people is just start. Like your first YouTube video is probably not going to be very good, but your 5th YouTube video is going to be a lot better. Your 10th is going to be a lot better. Your 20th is going to be a lot better. And you just have to start on that journey and just kind of understand that process, and and try to get 1% better with each one. And as you're going on that journey, you're watching your views go up and you're looking at your analytics, you're like, wow, it starts getting exciting. Yeah. So I just say just start and use CapCut.
And I just put a tutorial in the chat right now, y'all, that I did a step-by-step how to use CapCut from beginning to end. So it's in the chat. The link is there. We got one more question, and then Malcolm got to go, y'all, because he has a call right at the top of the hour. Go ahead, Corey.
No, I'm just going to say this real quick. Another hack that I use when I make my YouTube videos is look up free stock videos on YouTube, and I usually like type in Atlanta, Georgia stock videos, and you can see a lot of free stuff on there. And sometimes what I do is just screen record those videos, and then I will crop it out, and then I will put it into my editing software when I'm editing my video. So you can do that as well.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. There's a lot of free places that you can get stock video. CapCut has stock video as well baked into it. I've been really playing around with that, and really it's kept me from having an extra step. But let's give Malcolm some digital claps here.